I'd say everything will evolve around that. Productivity, say political will, discipline, and productivity.
Our succeeding questions will probably be more to your transformers. Jane, who will be next?
Rochelle. This is Rochelle.
Can you go nearer so you can be heard?
My question is for Ferdinand, but Fernando can also answer. You have said in the past point that one of the first steps of solving the Mindanao problem and the conflict that arise in that region is to understand our Muslim brothers and sisters. In your years of service and in going to Mindanao, do you yourself understand their situation? What is your understanding then, and what can you convey to the rest of the Filipino nation and to us today, so that we can start this process of solving the long conflict in the South?
First of all, it's not Mindanao. It's the Muslim situation. So Mindanao is okay. It's just a certain portion of Mindanao that you have a problem with. And I didn't just say understand. I said respect, understand, and accept. You know, you have to respect our Muslim brothers. Principally because even before the Spaniards came here, they were already here. And when the Spaniards came here, they asserted their character. Lapu-Lapu, Sorongan, Malgapak, Sultan Kudarat, they were never beaten by the Spaniards, except for Sultan Kudarat for a while. So when I look at it, I pay respect to that, and I would like to see not just 8 rays in the sun, but the first ray should have been the Muslim ray. Because Lapu-Lapu was the first Asian to beat the colonial invader. He is both Tausug and Bisaya. So you have to accept also their ways. Remember that the Islamic culture is one of the most fantastic cultures in the world. And they brought us algebra, they brought us a lot of things, designs. And they influenced Spain, for that matter. The patios, all these arches that you see, the churches are even influenced by that. Design, even dresses, the panuelo, that's really parcel of the Muslim people. Now, when you look at our Muslims here, they were marginalized because when Spain came here, he discovered, oh, it's the Muslims again. It's the Moros again. They call them Moros in Spain. They were conquered for 800 years when there was a reconquista, that they call it, trying to get back their country. From the Berbers first and then the Moorish, and that's why they were called Moros. So when Magellan was demolished by Lapu-Lapu, defeated, and we say that in our national anthem as sa manlulupig di ka pasisilos. He said, oh no, it's the Moors again. So they put St. James of Compostela here, defeating the Muslims, the infidels, and then what happened? They made the Muslims, those who were not converted, as our enemies. The same way they forced some of the Muslims in Spain to become Moriscos. They did the same thing to us. So, naging kalaban natin, hindi natin dapat kalaban. So, pag nakita nyo sa mga piyesta natin, Moro-Moro, pagka Maytime Festival, di ba, Moro-Moro, parang kalaban natin ang mga Muslim. So, to make a long story short, what has happened since then? Remember that the Sultanate of Cebu was one of the most fantastic sultanates in the world. They were able to help Brunei and Borneo get Sabah, and that was their reward for helping them when they tried to beat the rebellions out there. And then, of course, when they created the Sultan of Cebu, remember it was Paduka, I think is his name, who went to China long before the Spaniards came here, and he was honored with the Emperor of China. So you see, you have all these things happening in our country, then they are all suddenly marginalized and excluded. That's the beginning of the problem. You exclude them, and you distinguish them as the enemy, then what happens? Until they marginalize sila, until eventually, what do you have? When you go to Sulu, what used to be the Sultanate of Sulu, which is a lot better than Maynila or Cebu or Sugbu, a long time ago before the Spanish came, has become very impoverished. And what do you have now? Kids can't even go to school with good teachers out there. Takot magbigay ng examen yung Professional Regulatory Commission. So volunteer teachers sila. I had to report that to Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo when I visited there. Kita mo, because of the gulo there, bata pa kami, may Kamlon na, may MNLF, may MILF, ngayon ASG. We always fight, but we don't try to fix the problem. So, education is a problem, health is a problem, lack of infrastructure is a problem. They cannot even sell their products. This once proud race, they used to conquer Spain, who beat Spain and beat the other in a combat, are now, they're trying to make them farmers, but even if they farm, they cannot sell their mangosteen, they cannot sell their durian, and so ayaw pumunta doon ng Department of Trade, natatakot. So they get poorer and poorer, and because they get poorer and poorer, the only choice is to go back to the guns, or their Mampilas and their grits, and all that. So to make a long story short, this situation has perpetrated itself upon our country, and because of that, ang tingin natin sila kalakalaban. We have never really tried to uphold their dignity. We have not really uphold their education. Ang masama pa dyan, nung araw ang policy pumunta ang Tiga Luzon sa Mindanao, and because many of them were uneducated, the Christians were able to get a lot of their lands, and it's not the fault of the Christians, but when you try to develop a country, you go like the United States, they move forward, and if the adaptability to change isn't there, and if the opportunities for change is reserved exclusively to Christians and not to Muslims, what happens is conflict and exclusion. So, in my experience, when I got there and reported that, I went back there and got a C-130, and we got the fruits of these people. Put them on a C-130 and sold it here in Manila for 130 pesos. 100 pesos. Kinuha ng distansya. There, they could only sell it for 5 pesos. Yung mga crabs nila, namamatay ng high blood pressure. Naggagawa sila ng preserve, sila naman bumibili, sila lang. So there's no value for what they do. So, there's a lot of pain out there, and you have to assuage that pain. There's a lot of anger on the part of many people also who are kidnapped. So you have to find a way to try and put in investment. If I were president, one of the first things I might do is get an island in Cebu and show them that it can be a tourism enclave. Bring domestic tourism there. After all, Sipadan is right next to Cebu, kaya-kayang puntahan ng Abu Sayyaf yan, ang indak nila, no? Dito, kaya-kaya rin kunin yung Abu Sayyaf yung mga turista. But if you show that pwedeng kumita other than the gun, pwede kang maglagay doon ng mga, sila mismo magpapatakbo, and they can make money out of the tourism business. You have to invest in it. And I think there will be slowly a difference in attitude. One of the manifestations of that is I've added a 9th train to the SAM. It's already approved. They're just sitting in the Congress. I created the monument for Lapu-Lapu. I want the Islamic cultural history of the Philippines in Intramuros. There's already money for that. And then released the Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo. This is the second year that money is there. And at the same time, create an ecclesiastical history of the Philippines. Put them together so people can see the progress of Islam, the progress of the church in our country, and therefore get a better understanding. The other thing I'd like to do is have Muslim children come over and live Christian homes, make them do things together. Wala naman tayong tension katulad ng ibang bayan, tulad ng Israel. But still, it is always better to try and engage. Enable, engage, and ennoble. Respect, understand, and accept.
You okay?
Can you speak louder so that it's audible?
Go it here.